Okay, this video is going to cover some basic principles of formatting your source code, and there's a couple other things we'll add to this. And what we're going to use is the assignment 1D, where we turned in the printplay.java. So you need to make sure you have that open, have your chapter 1D or your printplay.java, and also you should have your notes open that we handed out, or if you weren't in class, then you could either print it or display it on your screen. But this is going to be from page 4, and we're going to cover some of these things, and so that also should be out. We are going to cover horizontal white space while we go through this, and we're going to cover vertical white space. We're going to cover block or multi-line comments, and we're going to cover line comments, and then we're going to add a couple of other things. Now, we're not going to necessarily fill in any blanks on this video. This is just going to be a demonstration to help you do the next assignment. And so what you'll want to do is use these notes, and you can write on these notes as much as you want. And you might fill in some of the blanks, but there might be other things that you'll write, and maybe you won't write certain things you won't necessarily write. Just by seeing what's on here might help you in tonight's assignment. But this needs to be a resource for you along with your chapter 1D or your printplay.java file. Now on this file, this is going to, what we're doing today is we're going to, or on this video, is we are going to look at how you should have typed up your program for printplay, and we're going to add some things to it so that you get to practice some of the basic formatting skills of your source code. So the first thing is you should have on your printplay right now is you should have this right here, this heading, and so your name, the period, the name of the assignment, the name of the file that's being turned in, and then the date. And what this is called, and this is on your notes, this is your block comment, block or multi-line comment. And so here's the beginning and ending symbols for that. Also notice that they all line up. This all lines up here. In fact, the best thing to do is just to hit go slash asterisk and then hit the tab key, and then that way it'll just all line up right along here. Now there's another thing on here, and I'm just going to point this out. Right here, you have notice there's a space right here. That is just to show you this, which you should have. Now, if you didn't do that, then you want to make sure you add a space there, and that is called horizontal space, horizontal white space. All right, and then the next thing you have a blank line, and this blank line is called, we call this vertical space, vertical white space. And this, of course, is accomplished just by hitting an extra enter. Or for the Mac people, hitting the return key an extra time. All right, so that is vertical space. Now, what is vertical space? Vertical space is basically like if you wrote an essay that had several paragraphs. You don't want several paragraphs to look like one paragraph, and so therefore there's going to be spacing, whether it be tabbing the first line or indenting the first line, or maybe putting extra space between the paragraphs. That's essentially what this is. And so the first paragraph, so to speak, is the heading. The next paragraph is going to start with the public class or the class header. So we have space in between these two sections. All right, so then we got blank lines. That's vertical space. You have horizontal space we've shown. And we've shown a block comment. And now we're going to add something new. This right here, this is called a line comment. A line comment has the 2 forward slashes. And can you tell me what this extra space is? That's horizontal space. And that's part of our white space situation. Now, a common thing to do is, and programmers do this, and they put it in different locations. We're going to put ours below the class header. They will many times put the purpose of their program. And so in this case, the purpose of this program that we already typed up and created was to print a scripture and to print the Papa John's slogan. All right, so that's a line comment. You got horizontal space. So make sure you're doing this in your assignment, your submission from last, or your file from the assignment that you turned in for the print play. Okay, everybody, of course, you should have your opening class brace, and then we don't need blank space here because it's already here. And then you have your main method header. You should have your main method opening brace, and now something in the main method, a line comment. So go ahead and put the line comment, and this is going to be the title of the first section of the code. And so this is code again that you've already written, so you're just adding now a line comment, so line 12, and it should say print Proverbs 9:10, so that would be a title for that section. Now notice that how it lines up. So what some people will do is they'll go back here. Nope, we don't want that. Some people go like this. Nope, you want it actually to line up like that. Now, we're going to add something new here again. The next line is something you need to add because we didn't do this in last night's or the last weekend's homework. So we want to add this print statement. So go ahead and add this. And if you have to pause the video, do that. But at the bottom of your notes, so again, if you haven't finished typing that line, you might need to pause the video and then come back to this. But what we want is we want to add some notes. So one of the notes we're going to add is escape. So write this down at the bottom down here. Escape character. The escape character is the backslash. The backslash is above the enter key for the Windows users, and it's above the return key for the Mac users. They have an escape character. Now you have an escape sequence. Now we're just going to give an escape sequence example. There's more than one escape sequence available. So when the person who wrote the Java language and created it, they made it so that the backslash has a special meaning to the compiler. So when the compiler sees a backslash, it knows what to do. It does a certain thing. Now, in this escape sequence includes the escape character followed by something else. It could be a letter and it could be a symbol. In this case, we're going to put symbol or a punctuation. So this right here is an escape sequence. And this, well, now that didn't work. And this is an escape character. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, this is what it means. When the compiler sees this opening or this quotation marks, it says to itself, okay, this is the beginning of a string. That means since I'm printing, I'm going to print literally everything between this quotation and the next quotation mark. The problem is we want to print a quotation mark. And so when it comes to this quotation mark, if it didn't know any better, it would print this backslash and then it would be done with the string. But the escape character says don't print me do what the next symbol or letter says to do. And so what that means is now it doesn't see this as the ending to the string. It sees it as something to be printed. So in other words, you could say the backslash says, hey, don't print me. I need you to print the symbol behind me. All right, so this quotation mark then is going to be printed as part of the string that started here. All right, so this is the beginning of the string. This is printed. And so this is the beginning of the string. I should have done this a different way. Now, so it's going to go ahead and print the proverbs and 9, 10, etc. Now it comes to the escape character again. So this tells the Java, tells the compiler, don't print me, but print the quotation marks. Otherwise, it would look at this quotation mark as the end of the string, but it's not. It's actually part of the string. So therefore, it's going to print this quotation mark, Proverbs space 9:10 quotation marks. Now it sees this, and it says, okay, this is the end of the string. And so I'm done. And that's why the green stops here, not before it. All right, so that is an escape sequence being used to print quotation marks. Quotation marks that usually tell the compiler the beginning or the end of the string, but that need to be printed. Okay, so let's go on to next. So make sure you've typed in the line 13, and then the fear of the Lord should already be typed, and is the beginning of wisdom. You should already have those in your program. Now we're going to add something. I think, yeah. What we want to do, or no, we already had this. What we're adding here is a blank line. So what is this blank line called? Vertical space. It's created by an extra enter. And it's separating sections of the code like you separate paragraphs in an essay. And so here's that line that we already had that prints an blank line in the output, and then we're going to put another blank line just to separate it from the next section. So more vertical space. Go ahead and type in this line comment. And make sure that you have a space between the symbol and the P in both of these. And remember, that is horizontal space. And then what you should have typed is 3 lines of code. Now, some of you typed only one line to print better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's on one line. So this is not something you would normally do. So, for example, just to show the output, is that better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's is on one line. And normally you would just put that in one print statement. But what we're doing here is just practicing the difference between the print method and the println method. So it's just practice. This wouldn't necessarily be what you would want to do in this case. All right, so in order to make this work, you got to have 2 print methods. The first 2 print statements have to be print methods, and the last one can be ln or not. The other thing is that's very important. Whenever you write your programs, after the compiler says you don't have any errors, you're not done checking for errors. You, not the compiler, has to check the output. So let's say I had something like this. So there's no errors, so I run it, and I read this. I go, okay, this looks fine. Although this looks fine. And then you go, this has no space between the period and better. oh, and there's no space between the period and Papa. So that's an error, a logic error, which you'll learn about later in the output. So you always want to proofread. So that's what we're talking about, is proofreading the output, just like you would do for any of your research papers or essays that you write. And so that means you should have a space either here or a space here. Either one will work. And then the next one, period and Papa, so you should either have a space here or a space here. Either one, it's up to you. All right, so that is that's how you should have done that. And now, we've added terminology, the block comment. Let me get this up here. So we've added the block comment. We've added the horizontal space right here, and right here. We've added the vertical space here, and here, and here. Oh, here's the horizontal space. We've added a line comment, especially one for the purpose, and a line comment, and a line comment. And then we've added the escape character and the escape sequence here and here. And now we need to add something else here. So we're going to add an error message, and then we'll be good. So what I need you to do is to delete either one of these ending or closing braces, and then do a compile. And you're going to notice it's going to give you an error. It says reach the end of the file while parsing. Parsing means to separate something up or break something up into parts. And so if I were to break this up into parts, we would go, the class goes, oh, are you serious? Okay, so I don't know why I did that. The class goes from, let's see, from here to here. And then the main method goes from here. So see, we're breaking this up into parts. And to, wait a second, there is no here. And in all actuality, what might be happening is it might go here, it might say this, and this is the main method, and then for the class it starts here and it's going, where is the brace? And so it's reached the end of the file while trying to break things up into parts, but it doesn't have any boundary line to stop another part, to end another part, in this case to end the class. So that's an error message. So if you get it, all it refers to is the ending braces. It does not refer to the beginning. These would give you a different error if you're missing those guys. All right, so that's the idea, and that should get you prepared for tonight's homework. Use this as a resource and use your notes as a resource, and you will be good.